Collagen powders are all over the place. You see them all over social media, you see them in every single supermarket, drugstore, you name it. Collagen powder is everywhere. Now you may be wondering whether or not it's worth buying a collagen powder, and you may actually wonder what it even is. So in today's video, I'm going to do a quick overview on what collagen is, what a collagen powder is, what the research actually says. I'll give you a 5-question quiz to see if collagen powder is right for you, and then I'll let you know whether or not I take it. So let's dive in. What is collagen? Well, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body. It's virtually found everywhere. It's in our skin, it's in our joints, our ligaments, our bones, it's in our muscles, it's found in our organs. It is found everywhere in the body. And it's one of the main building blocks that help to produce the structure of all of these different parts of our body. So of course, it is definitely important that our body produces collagen. In a nutshell, collagen is a bunch of amino acids that are stringed together to produce what's called a peptide. And these come together to form a collagen molecule. Now, collagen's main job is to provide structure. So if we think of our skin, which a lot of people take collagen powder for, collagen is the main structural component in our skin. And the more collagen we have in our skin, it's going to have more structure, it's going to have more shape, and it gives that really nice youthful appearance. As we age, the collagen in our skin starts to deteriorate over time. And as a result, you'll start to see more wrinkles, you might see a little bit more sagging, your skin may not be as supple as it used to be, and this is a sign that your skin is losing its collagen. So obviously trying to make sure that we get enough collagen through our diet as well as producing enough collagen is definitely important. And so researchers have tried to see if taking a collagen powder will help to improve the collagen in our skin, also helping with the collagen production in our joints, for example, and other parts of the body. So what is collagen powder? Well, collagen powder is a really popular supplement. And not to freak you out or anything, but it is usually made out of the skin and bones of different animals, usually either cows, sometimes pigs, and a lot of the time fish as well. Sometimes you can also get it from eggshells, but again, the two main types being from bovine, so cow, or marine, usually fish. Basically what happens is these parts of the animal are broken down and processed into what's known as gelatin, and you've probably heard of gelatin before. A lot of people do consume it. So what happens here is they take the gelatin and then they further break it down and dry it out. And that powder that they get is collagen, and that collagen powder is then sold to you as a supplement. Now, most collagen powders on the market are hydrolyzed, and what this means is that the collagen molecule, which is actually pretty big in size, is actually broken down or hydrolyzed. This allows a person to actually absorb it better into the body. If you think of our intestine, if we had a really big compound and we were trying to get it to absorb, it'd be really difficult. So by breaking it down into hydrolyzed peptides, it's actually able to enter our intestine a lot easier and then absorbed into the body. And researchers found that hydrolyzed collagen is absorbed quite effectively. Now, what is collagen powder used for? You can use collagen powder for a lot of different things, but the most popular reasons why someone may take a collagen powder is for their skin health, or for their joint health, or maybe even both. And usually it's used to, for example, improve joint pain and allow their joints to function better, or to delay the aging process in their skin and help their skin look better. And some people just like to add it as an extra source of protein into their diet. So now that you know what collagen is and what collagen powder is, it's time to understand what the research actually says. Collagen powder is very controversial. Some people say that it really works, while others say it doesn't and there's not enough research. So I have gone through a lot of the most recent research to see what it says. Now, I am filming in July of 2023, so this is the evidence that we have now. It could change in the future, but based on what I'm actually looking at now, this is what we have. And in a really recent meta-analysis that came out in May of 2023, it did find that collagen powder was effective in improving skin hydration as well as skin elasticity, which simply means how easily your skin bounces back. If you take a look at the image on the screen, you'll see what's called a forest plot. And this simply just shows you the actual average results from all of the different studies. From this forest plot, we see that taking a collagen powder is favored in terms of improving skin hydration. In addition to this, they also found that collagen powder was effective in improving skin elasticity. And we can see that by looking at this forest plot that shows again that it favors collagen over the placebo in terms of improving skin elasticity. What I also like about this study is they reviewed the different types of collagen powders to see if one was more effective than the other. Now, if we look at this forest plot all together, the average shows that it really doesn't matter the type of collagen powder that you're using. all seem to be favorable in improving skin health. That being said, if we do take a close look at the chart, we do see that marine-based collagen seems to be a little bit more effective, but there is that category at the bottom that doesn't have specific collagen, so we don't know what kind of collagen powder they were using in those studies. But overall, we do see that regardless of the type of collagen powder, there do seem to be beneficial effects to taking collagen for our skin. And we can see here on the screen that collagen powder was effective in the study in improving hydration and elasticity, and the authors do note that this is consistent and congruent with previous research. Now, of course, it is important to highlight some limitations in research studies because no research study is perfect, and the authors do a good job at highlighting this. Some of the limitations in the study include that some of the research studies they looked at were heterogeneous, which means that they aren't exactly the same type of studies, and they aren't apples to apples comparisons. Another issue is that some of the studies had really small sample sizes, and when we have small sample sizes, which means there's only a certain amount of people on the study, it's hard to extrapolate or generalize the results to the population. They also mentioned that a lot of the studies don't look at confounding factors. A confounding factor is something that could also lead to the same results, but is not considered. So for example, someone's diet, someone's exercise routine, does the person smoke, do they have a good skincare routine? All of these things could also impact skin health. Ultimately, they concluded that more research is still needed, but it is promising. And I do agree with that. I found another interesting study that really wanted to look at how collagen powder is advertised on social media. And it was really interesting to see the results. What they found, and I definitely expected this myself, is that when a person was financially biased, meaning that a company was paying them to promote the product, they were more likely to say the product was effective. And this makes sense because a company's not going to pay somebody to say their product doesn't work. So that does make sense. What they did also notice was that regulated health professionals such as dermatologists did not have any bias when recommending a product. However, people who were not regulated, so for example, a regular influencer or somebody who has a high following on social media and is just promoting a product, were more likely to be biased in their recommendation. And I just want to touch on this for just a quick second because it is something to keep in mind when you are looking at products advertised on social media. Regulated healthcare professionals, so a dermatologist, a nurse, a doctor, a registered dietitian like myself, we are not allowed to promote products that one, we don't believe in, two, don't have research to back them up, and we are also not allowed to say that one product is the only product that's best for you. Now, we can definitely be sponsored by different companies, but we need to be honest in our review and always make sure that it is evidence-based. So when someone like myself or another regulated health professional promotes a product, it's usually more reliable and something that you can trust. Now, I do want to say I get a lot of sponsorship opportunities and I turn down about 99% of them. So if I do ever recommend a product, you can rest assured that I actually do think it might be beneficial for you and I would never lead you astray. Something else that was really interesting in this article was that they were looking at the types of claims that were made, and they found that a lot of companies that had collagen powders and they were promoting them did make really outrageous or really general claims that aren't necessarily backed by research at this time. So for example, improving overall wellness is a really vague term and really general and doesn't really say what kind of health it's actually going to improve. I have also seen collagen powder being promoted for gut health, and while it could potentially help your gut health, we don't have research to actually say that at this time. In terms of joint and skin health, we do have some research, but again, it's not going to completely delay aging or heal your joint pain. So anytime you see really big, bold claims like that, you might just want to take a second and maybe think that might be a red flag. Now, the authors also did find that there is research to support the use of collagen powder for promoting skin health, and of course did highlight some other limitations that we've already talked about. And they also came to very similar conclusions about using collagen powder that I really am at this point in time as well. And that is simply that collagen powders might be helpful, but they are a little bit expensive. And if you're trying to weigh whether or not a collagen powder is worthwhile for you, really think of the financial cost and can you afford it? Because if you can't afford it, then don't bother. But if you've wanted to try it and it fits within your budget, it doesn't seem to be harmful at all, and there aren't really any negative side effects to taking it as long as you obviously follow the instructions. So if you want to try it, then feel free. Now, I would love to go through every single study that I have looked at, but I don't want to make this video too long. So There were a couple other studies that I did take a look at, and majority come to the same simple conclusions, that there does seem to be some benefit in taking a collagen powder for different aspects of skin health, but almost every single research study does say we need more research before we can actually say, yes, collagen powder is going to improve your skin health, and yes, it is something that we should recommend for everybody. Okay, so what are some downsides with taking collagen powders? One major downside of collagen powders is that they don't provide a ton of protein. Most, I would say, provide about 10 grams of protein per serving. So while it can be a nice top off to the rest of your diet, I would not rely on it as a main protein source. Another downside, and not a lot of people talk about this, is that when we consume collagen powder, it's not going to directly go to our skin or directly go to our knee or wherever we want it to go. Our body decides where it needs to put the protein that we're consuming, and that's that. So while you can take collagen to support your skin health, if your body feels like that should be used somewhere else, you don't have control over that. Another downside is that they are quite expensive, and I would rather you spend your money on whole food first, and then if you want to and it fits within your budget, then feel free to take a collagen powder. And the final downside is that they aren't a substitute for poor lifestyle behaviors. So if you aren't wearing sunscreen, you're tanning a lot, you're smoking, you don't have a very nutritious diet, you're not exercising, you're not sleeping well, you're not managing your stress, all of these lifestyle factors can influence the health of our skin, the health of our joints, and our overall health. So taking a collagen powder is not a magical pill or a magical powder that's going to fix all of these things if you still decide to live a relatively unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, so now that you have all this information, I thought it would be helpful to give you a 5-question quiz that will help determine whether or not trying a collagen powder is right for you. So the first question is, do you get enough protein in your diet? If the answer is yes, then don't feel pressure to take a collagen powder. At the end of the day, we really just need enough protein in order to support our bodily functions. And the protein we get from food can also be converted into collagen in our skin or our joints or elsewhere. If you don't get enough protein in your diet, then you can definitely consider taking a collagen powder to top off any extra protein that you feel you need. But I actually would recommend taking a protein powder first. Better yet, trying to get more protein through whole food. The second question is, can you afford it? If you can't afford it, then don't buy it. And if you can't afford it, then feel free if it works for you. The third question is, have you always wanted to try it? If the answer is yes, then feel free to try it and see if it works for you. If you haven't wanted to try it, then don't feel pressured. The fourth question is, do you want a little bit of extra protein in your diet, but you do not like protein powders? This is where I sit. So if the answer is yes, then collagen powder might be a really great way to just quickly add it to your diet without really noticing it. But if you feel like protein powder works best for you, then don't feel pressured to switch over. Protein powder would be a better option. And number 5 is, do you want to take them because they're popular? If the answer is yes, then definitely do not take them. You should not be taking a supplement just because they're popular or someone else is taking them. You always want to make sure that you're taking a supplement based on your own unique needs and no one else's. And if the answer is no, well then well done. Again, making sure that you take only supplements that work best for you and no one else. The final thing I wanted to answer is, do I take a collagen powder? And the answer is yes. I have been taking a collagen powder for a few years now. I take the Organica collagen powder. This video is not sponsored. I've been purchasing this for many years. I get it from Costco because it is the most cost-effective one to buy. I really do like it. It is flavorless and I just add it to my coffee. The only reason I really do this is because I feel sometimes I don't get enough protein, especially in the morning, so it's a great top off and I don't taste it. I do not like protein powder, so this is a good alternative for me. In terms of my skin health, I do think that it has improved over the past couple years, but I have also really worked on my skincare routine. So I can't really say for sure if it's the collagen powder, the skincare routine, or maybe a combination of both. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what I take. If you feel like it's right for you, then feel free to take it. And if not, no pressure at all. No pressure at all. Just make sure you're doing what's right for you. So I hope this video was helpful in helping you understand what collagen powder is, what the research says, and the little quiz that you can take to see if it's right for you. Let me know in the comments if you take collagen powder or any other topics you'd like me to review, and I'll see you in the next video.